So, welcome to the MBGS, and Michigan's a pretty big player nowadays. We were just talking about how I don't know these numbers I'm getting. I think it's 7 billion, but you just corrected me, and I looked up the article. Tell us, Spartan, what kind of dough we slinging here in Michigan for our weed?
In a year, in the little mitten state, the little tiny player we are in cannabis, like everybody fucking keeps thinking. $3 billion, man. $3 billion.
That's just in retail sales. That's over $300 per person in the state.
That's a lot of pre-rolls.
And, and I know I'm smoking for at least 6 people in this state, so come on.
Cheers, guys. Welcome to the Michigan Bros Grow Show. It is episode 229. We're filling in for Baked here, so we just decided to come in hot with what we were talking about pre-show. That was just one of the topics, but throw up some thumbs and on that episode and comment obviously below. Tag us if you guys got some questions and stuff. We'll see it better if you actually do the @ symbol and then Spartan Grown or Think Man Dan or Terra Nation, etc. I'm not sure if Fred and Becca are coming, but
they're eating some dinner and then they'll be along.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And then what's Troy up to? You got him working tonight?
He is working actually down in the basement where he belongs. No, I'm
He's in the dungeon. I got him locked.
Is he listening?
He should be listening.
All right. Well, shout out to Troy because
shout out to you, Troy.
Should be up here up top.
There he
is. There he is. He's in
downstairs mixing noots and
wink once if you're.
Yeah, I was just saying, nut tree, blink twice.
Yeah,
you need to be saved. So
yeah, we needed some newts mixed and a little bit of plant work done. So
duty calls every day.
Yeah,
facts, man.
Usually right after dinner.
It's true.
My day starts early. You know, my lights come on at like 5 a.m. I'm right out there. I know I'm a morning guy, but yeah.
I got my lights running at night.
I did run them at night, but then I find myself to be more lazy and not as.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go out there as frequently as I do during the day. So.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I'm home now more obviously, but yeah. So we run them during the day, and yeah, electric bill sucks.
Yeah, dude. Another reason I run them at night.
Yeah, that does suck.
It's rough.
We run at night too, but we've got an older house, so we've got a lot of nooks and crannies where things can seep out and get in and air-wise. So we're not exactly locked tight in here. So
yeah, it's pretty cold out there and hard to maintain them outdoor. The atmosphere out there when the temperature is so cold. You know, it was dropped down to like 65 in my room, so I had to kick up the heaters another notch.
Yeah.
But we were down to like 14 below. Yeah.
Whew. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, I think the lowest that I saw us get down here was like -5, -6.
That's still pretty cold, you know, and you get that wind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that wind was so bad.
Beautiful. What's that, Russ?
Nice.
That's a Bananaconda.
Oh, love Bananaconda.
Yeah, it's fire. It's fire.
Rosin too.
EMJ clones. He got me a tissue culture clone of that.
Nice.
And I'm sorry. I'm gonna sound like a commercial for the GML lights. It's just who I am. But this came out of my test grow that I, on purpose, infested with both thrips and spider mites. And we had the test lights going in there, the predators to kill the bugs. And here's the flower. I mean, it's still frosty as shit. No, like, I don't know if I can get the focus again.
So when I was listening to the show before and I heard you say all that, I looked at Troy and I was like, did he just say that? Is that right? And I was like, I missed something. I was like, did he just say spider mites?
Well, the thing is, the spider mites were tough. I did need to spray to kill them completely. Like, it fucked the spider mites up. Like, I'm assuming they're breeding or whatever, because they never really got to the population where they would like try to web and all that. But there's always I could always find some living ones. And mind you, I started out with 3-minute applications. I think it was 3 minutes a day, and then I moved it up to 5 minutes a day. So they're only getting it for 5 minutes. People are worried about the safety to the plant. Like it's only on for 5 minutes, and you can adjust. You don't have to run it every day if you don't have pests. But I had pests. I had lots in there.
Work for thrips good. Work good for thrips. It worked great for
thrips. It worked really good for to fuck the thrips up quick. Like within the first week or by the second week, I didn't see anything. And I go nuts in there for a couple of weeks before lights, and so it was really good, effective on thrips for me and my grow. And everybody else actually is testing it is also saying the same thing.
Is this on the market now?
It's going to be on the we're going to take pre-orders in a week.
Okay.
On that show, we're going to start taking pre-orders, and then the first shipment, I think we're expecting to hit the end of February.
Oh, so right around the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, 12-week back order.
No. That's It's coming right up here.
Get in on the pre-order though.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know
I'm sure
what
the biggest problem is to keep them.
Point of that is?
Do I know how what?
Do you know what the cost of that?
Yeah, it's going to be to cover a 4x4 or 5x5. I think it would cover 5x5 as well. It is $225 retail.
Shit,
and I think my discount code will still be. I think my discount code should still work to get you the 10% off. So we get you closer to $200.
Between what I pay in Predators, and
don't even bother buying Predators because this will fuck them up too. So don't even buy Predators.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that's a real minimal cost for the yearly cost of running Predators and stuff. So.
For sure, and it's a 3-year warranty. So what do you pay for
worth
Predators?
A shot for sure.
I like. I'm using the prototype. It's not even the launch version. The launch version is going to be better, but I'm using like the prototypes, and I've been happy with them. Like I said, this banana conda has been fire. I mean, it's a fire strain to begin with, but I don't want to pretend like it was shit.
Magic.
Yeah, but for me, I was surprised to see how beat up the plant was from thrips because I let them guys like get established because I want to know if it works or not, and I think that's why I couldn't get rid of the spider mites. I let them get to a bigger population, but I did get rid of them with spray. So I sprayed, which is cool because the lights are waterproof anyways. Who cares if they get spray on them? And so I sprayed and I used the lights still, and that's what got rid of the spider mites finally. And now,
nice.
Working the damn flower today, and I'm happy with it. So
fucking hate spider mites,
dude. So do I, man. I'm not a fan. So I'm excited for those lights. Excited for this flower. I think this banana conda, I've got a cut already going in a 1 gal right now in my veg. So I'm going to put it in my regular sips and grow it out like I normally grow. Because these were I just grew them in 5 gallon pots. Just normal style, I guess. But I want to get them in a sip and I want to grow it like I normally do and see what it does.
So you said you didn't notice like the webbing, obviously at the top usually is when you really start to see like
they start webbing your colas.
Mm-hmm. But I assume you said you saw live ones. The times I've seen them, it's been identifiable by the spots on the upper side of the leaves, and then you flip it over and you see them under that. Is that basically what was happening?
Yeah, well, I could see them on the top side of the leaves as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hiding from the light.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that UVC light, you just run it at the end of your light cycle. So when the lights turn off, then you turn your UVC lights on because you don't want to be even in the room with the UVC lights.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just too much danger to like your eyesight and stuff like that, and even you if you get close enough. But so just be out of the room. So do it at lights off. Boom. Do your 2-3 minute treatment for IPM. I would increase the treatment if you had pest pressure, you saw signs of pests or something. Increase it to 5 up to, we know it's safe up to 15. The launch lights that are coming out they have a safety on them where you can't run them more than 15 minutes. So you can't accidentally keep it, or if the timer fails if you have it plugged into a timer and that fails for some reason and doesn't shut up, it's not going to cook your plants by just staying on 24/7.
15-minute timer just takes out your whole room.
Yeah, so the most you can do is 15, and then it's going to cut you
like
off.
A chiller. A chiller going out can fuck up a room too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty quickly. I was trying to do the math in my head, and we know we're not supposed to do that live, but it's got to be somewhere in the range of like 6 months to a year for me to break even on outfitting my entire grow with those versus buying monthly, IPM treatments.
All right.
For I think the biggest return of investment really it's going to be probably at the home grower scale, like the smallest scale, like one flower light, one veg light, because imagine having to only cover a 4x4 and then have to buy predator mites when for it to even be cheap is you have to buy 100 of them. You know what I mean? It's just dumb. 100 packets. They don't really have a whole lot of options for like the home grower. Well, they can just throw this in there instead, and now you have to deal with predator bugs.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hey, there's Becca.
Glad you can make it.
What's up, guys?
So I was turning my house upside down looking for this stupid piece of paper that somebody wrote down this bacteria that I wanted to ask you guys about. Darn it, it's pissing me off and I can't find it.
Ask us about what?
A bacteria.
Oh, a bacteria. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to. It's driving me nuts. And I just had it this morning too, so that's what's.
Was it a bacillus?
No, I don't remember that being. No, actually, would maybe something like called Dinico or Dimanico or Dimico.
Dynomyco, DYNO myco.
That's it.
Yeah, I haven't used it, so I don't really know.
So Mr. Chuck in Cincinnati, I got to see him the other day, and we shared some flour, and that was one of the things that he said that he's using in his pots now. So, and he had asked if I knew about it, and I said no, so that's why I wanted to ask you guys. But he showed me a picture with just Mammoth that he was using, and then he was using that, and there was a considerable amount of difference with using his stuff, that new stuff.
This is what I found.
Oh,
I think
thanks.
this is
There you go.
Yep. That's really cool packaging. First of all, let's click on that.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. So it's like a pretty thick granular. Looks like. What's the formula look like?
Explosive.
It's an explosive. It's gonna blow those roots up, man.
Yeah, there was like I would say about a 3-inch difference, and fullness to his plants. Definitely could see a sizable difference between the Mammoth to this. So something to look into, maybe.
Hell yeah. I like microbiodiversity.
Yeah.
I like microbes.
He was asking me, he's like, do you know what Floraflex is? And I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm using that now, too. I was like, cool.
This is the one I've been trying out. Is this microbial mass?
Okay.
I've been like it. It's so Mammoth P, like you brought up, Dr. Colin Bell from Colorado. Was it Colorado State University, whatever university he's? Anyways, when he left Mammoth Microbes and now he's working for Microbial Mass.
Okay.
I'm trying them out, and then so far I'm liking it.
I couldn't find what I usually use last time I ran to the store, and so I picked up one of those little cans. Well, actually, I had Great White, or was it the Orca Great White, whatever brand that is.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Great White's a good one.
I used to use it for quite some time, and then I'm like, well, there's a Clonex one now. I haven't tried that one. I used their solution for forever, and I know not everyone likes Clonex, but I'm like, all right, well, let's just try this one. And so I used that in my transplants like this past week, but we'll see. Who knows? It's hard to tell in the first 2 days, I would say, if it's really working. But I like to use it in the transplants. I think it's fairly important.
Absolutely. Definitely gives your roots a head start.
And honestly, I threw a handful of those directly into flower after transplanting. So
nice.
Hash patch is right around the corner. They went from 1 gallons to 10 gallons.
How long will you let them, let's say, gather their feet in that pot?
normally a couple weeks.
Okay.
This time, maybe a couple hours.
Right
Talk
on. They'll
about
have,
turn and burn.
Yeah. You know, we got open room in the flower room, and the hash bash cup is right around the corner. And
It is.
you know,
time's
let's see.
ticking.
This is what, April, right? First week.
Yeah, I
of
think it's like the 5th or something. So that is it 77 days? Is what Google's
Sixth.
telling me right
It's
now.
on the 6th of
Friday.
Saturday.
I think it starts on Friday, doesn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
you're talking about the
hash
cup.
bash.
Let's talk about the hash bash itself.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, 77 days, something like that. You know, and that's 11 weeks. So assuming I'm cutting at 9 weeks, that's 2 weeks to hang dry or process or whatever. So it's go time. Stuff that room full.
I hadn't really even considered that. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
A lot
I'm
of planning
fine.
ahead, and
I'm
I'm always
fine.
behind.
Yes.
Oh, that's
We're wondering if we'll be able to have new genetics for gems and genetics if we pop seeds
That'd be
like
sweet.
now.
Do it. Just get them in. Get them in. Don't even think. Just do it.
exciting.
We want to get them in. The full moon's not for like another 3 days, so I'm like,
That might be worth
That's
it.
not bad.
Yeah, I've got little seedlings about this tall, little newberries. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll have. Hopefully, some of them are female.
potential difference. Take that extra 10% of potential, I suppose. An if. I guess I could wait 3 days on an if,
We're gonna do it. We've got everything ready to go.
unless that harvest ends up 3 days late and we don't get a
That's
chance to.
awesome to hear.
Either way,
It's exciting.
we'll have new genetics. Yay! Can't wait.
Oh.
Yay.
Well, if you guys are gonna pop something new, I'll pop something new too.
We're gearing up hard for spring.
Like everybody should be popping new stuff. For Girly, you popped some new stuff. How's that growing?
All good. Transplanted in 10 gallons as well. Still need to take
Nice.
cuts of them though, and that's like 2 days
How
later. on the
many-
list.
Are they sexed by now or not yet?
They're all feminized.
Oh,
So,
they're all femmes. Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
but they're nice and tall and starting to bush out a little bit. And I mean, there's a decent variety. I will say they're not all growing exactly the same. I'm trying to think which one it is. So one of them does have like pretty broad leaves across the board, and then there's one that just doesn't. It looks more like one of my other plants, you know. So it's like, maybe this one is. I don't know. We'll see.
Keep an eye on. Might be a special one.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I know you're supposed to get some pretty consistent things with feminized seeds. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, they're not in flower, I guess, yet. So yeah, because I still have to clone them all. Like I said, that's kind of like 2 days late on my list. I would have probably liked to clone them and give them about a week before I throw them into flower. So now we're looking at, you know, pretty much have to process these last minute for Hash Bash Cup because there's probably not really enough time to hang dry them at this point. Well, they might be early. I'm just thinking everything's 9 weeks because that's how, you know, a lot of my stuff is.
Mine too. A lot of my stuff's right around 9 weeks. I have a few that go 70 days, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna push the lime skunk this round. I'm gonna try. She's so like nutrient hungry, kind of at the end. Like, you know, like sucks up everything that's in the pot, I think. So she fades quickly, which is nice, but I kind of want to push her to just like, I know she'll put on that heavyweight at the end. She's just that hazy type variety that does it. So
I was pushing my Mac 1 this round. Actually, it's still alive, but it's got like, it'll probably come down tomorrow. But because it's like still like too green for me, I'm like, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't want you to be all green. So it's like day 70, 71. So I don't usually take them that long for Mac.
yeah,
But it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see. It's frosty as fuck, but it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the smoke. Take that long.
I feel similarly about the recent run of Grape Fun Dip. It was like day 50 something, probably like 54. And it still had like that little bit of tip burn on that. And at least it's like, dude, how long are you gonna go? You know, because usually by that point there's at least starting to fade. Like the grapefruit Durban next to it's like a week or two behind it. It's already starting to fade, or not grapefruit Durban, garlic punch. It's been a while.
Yeah, I had a lot of other stuff in my room fading kind of early on me, and that one's just like taking its sweet time. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? That's the beauty of running the perpetual too, because then whatever you got in bed just getting bigger and bigger.
It's true. That is true.
I know we were going to try to have ours a little offset, but I don't know if we are. This tent's really lagging up here.
That happens to me so much, Tara. Don't feel bad. That happens to me. I try to have it offset, and they always start bunching up somehow. They always start getting close together again.
And it's cold, so they're not really like hopping on board with, getting where I want them to be. So, but they'll be there. It's all right. We no need to push it too much.
I had to go through and sort of. I always kind of call it retrofitting because of the way this
Nice,
goes,
man.
but so Cobra Milk, that's a good one. I
You have so many tips.
well, thanks to Spartan for that one. So my 4 lights that are flowering out the plants that are on the ground, so I got 4 on one side, 4 on the other, 2 tables, 2 4x8 tables on one side, nothing on the other side, so they're just pots on the ground. Sometimes I'll use bamboo stakes or similar type products to like stake up kind of the bigger ones that are wanting to lean a little early, or just the big branches that I know are going to lean. Some strains don't need it. Actually, in Cobra Milk, for the most part, is one of those strains that kind of just is pretty solid. These real kind of stretchy ones like Clementine and Lime Skunk, if I just let them go, they will eventually, probably by week 6 or 7, be laying on the floor. So I had to go through, and it's probably not more than like 10, 12 plants, if that, but the 4 lights that are covering all those plants on the ground, I had to go through and quote unquote retrofit scrog nets for everything. And I hate doing that, man. It's like, it's so easy when it's on a 4x8 table and you got the post with the notches and everything. You just hook it in, just go, especially if it's like day 1 of flower, and they haven't really done too much stretching or anything. You just plop them right in there. But with a perpetual garden and like bringing in, 1 plant, 4 plants, 2 plants, 1 plant, like all just different timing. So they're at different stages of flower, and then having to go through and quite literally staple a scrog net from one wall and pull it across plants to the other wall and just fit everything through. It's just madness, dude. I kind of miss my floating scrog net, I'll be honest.
We just
Exactly what I did. As I
built. It's like just PVC, half-inch PVC and tees. And it's just a whole bunch of little little square. It's a lattice like structure, right?
Yep.
Trellis like structure, and then you put the scrog through it, and it's 4 feet wide and it's 5 feet tall, and there's every 4 feet there's a rib, so it's every 4x4 section. There's only 4 posts, and it's all half-inch PVC. It's free floating. I can slide the fuckers around and clean and do whatever. It's not bolted to the ground. It's not attached to a table. It's literally just a PVC structure that I built out of PVC. Yeah, that I built, but just a skeleton frame. And it holds itself up. It's been standing for 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? Every now and then I pull it apart to move some stuff around, and you gotta clean it and shit like that. But I mean, it's great.
Sounds
do a
nice.
similar thing with PVC. I just make PVC squares and make them tall enough for each planter. And I have 4 plants per light, so they each have their own. So I can still move them. They're individual to each planter. So my planters are on wheels too, my sip containers. So I can move those plants around, and that scrog is individual to that plant, so it moves with the plant.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I liked about the floating scrog net is there's nothing on the ground or under the plants to get in your way. Not that there's much with just a couple posts, but it was, on rope ratchets, like the light ratchet, so you could just raise or lower it every new cycle, depending on where it was, what height you needed. So that was, semi-useful, but you definitely didn't want to bump it, because if you bumped it, like the whole thing, because just the whole room was just doing this thing. It's not like it's very sturdy, just hanging on rope.
Yeah, and then you grab it. You know, if you're starting to slip or something, you see it in the corner of your eye, and you're grabbing it, just thinking it's going to support you. Yeah, it's not going
Not a
to.
chance.
It's going to move.
Let's do an over under on how much fresh frozen was at processors in terms of pounds on as of December 31st, 2023. So I think we talked about there's like over 500,000 pounds at processors and over 500,000 pounds at growers back in October, around that era. So let's cut that in half. I'm going to say 250,000, so 250,000 pounds at processors as of December 31st, 2023. Do you guys think it was higher or lower than that?
I was thinking 223, so I'll say lower.
I would say way higher.
Yeah, let's go higher.
Tara's coughing it out, but yeah, I was just going to say point up or down. She thinks it's higher too. Becca, what about you?
I'm the under. I'm the only under.
100,000.
Sorry, I was in the mute.
Yeah, 250,000 pounds over or higher or lower than that.
Unprocessed yet.
Just fresh frozen.
At the processor.
Yeah.
That's so much. I don't even know.
A lot of freezers.
How much that is.
So it was 298,430
Oh, yeah.
pounds. And at growers there was
I was going to guess 300,
298,000.
so I'd have been too much, but I'd have been
Yeah. Price is Right rules Price is Right rules means you got to be under, right? I'll take $1, Bob. Yeah, that's a lot. What about test pass flour at growers and retailers? Let's do that. Let's combine the two. Over under 250,000 pounds.
It's got to be all. I'm going all over.
Locations? At both locations?
Yeah, between growers and retailers.
I
But
would say
already
over.
passed. Already
I would
passed.
say over.
I'm going to say over. You're going 1 million? I'm going to say over.
No, 250,000, but
Oh, you're saying
All right,
250,000.
quarter
let
million?
me ask you this:
Oh,
out of
okay.
all that cannabis that's available, how much of it do you guys want to consume?
0.
Well, no, there's some quality people out there that put out
Yes,
some
there
quality.
are.
I know, but I don't want to go hunting for it. So 0.
But yeah, for sure, you definitely have to hunt and find them. But
I know they exist, but I got so many friends between here and there, you know.
Man, the problem is it better be like sold not on a shelf next to Wana, or I'm gonna wanna more and not spend any money in the establishment because they're feeding the
Well,
pockets of the MCF.
shout out to More Ganja Farms. I think Red knows them. He's got a saying that says dispos are for tourists.
I agree. I would agree.
Well, there is a lot of truth to that.
This
But
not necessarily the producers, the manufacturers, but honestly, man, they all sell the same products, and unless one really steps up and says, "I'm not going to sell these products that these people produce and sell only," they don't, because the bottom line won't allow that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Not in this
no.
market.
But at the same time, it's also access to people who don't have to go to sketchy neighborhoods and meet people in weird parking lots and shit like that. They can still go to a relatively safe place, go into a establishment, get some cannabis, and get the hell back home. So I'm not too mad at it. There's purpose. I mean, there's a demand for that. I'm not part of that demand. I'm agreeing with you guys. I'm not part of that demand.
Right on,
I'm okay with it being there. I'm
think
okay with it
everybody
there. It doesn't.
I think
oversubjective,
sketchy
but-
neighborhood. I think having to go to like an ecstasy dealer or like a heroin dealer to get your weed left a long time ago, back when everybody started growing it. You know,
I remember back in the 90s some sketchy situations I was in purchasing some cannabis.
yeah, me too. But like, not
For
everybody
sure.
was growing it. Nowadays, like it's everywhere. Like there's
Oh
such
yeah,
a
definitely
plus,
changed
like,
times.
weed. It's crazy. It just wasn't like it was. I mean, the bus season was a real thing, and like I was
Absolutely.
screens, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't access weed. Literally smoking dirty ass screens that I had laying around or roaches. I had little bags of roaches.
I remember them having billboards and it would say, "You think it's dry now? Wait till so
Yeah,
and so."
yeah, yeah.
I swear to God, they had billboards like
I
that.
do too. I remember those.
And up here where we live, when we would come in, it'd come in and you go to your supplier and you'd hope there'd be enough for you by the time you made it up there. And
They'd be right on 94. Drought season's upon you.
yep,
Good.
it was vicious
Good.
times.
Yeah, they're vicious.
You guys are right. It's 281.
Sorry.
I think. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Set me off on a tangent.
But those
No,
were
no,
bad days. Those were days where I had to go to the city and try to fucking help. He's got something. Yeah, shady. It's definitely better now that the access has definitely changed.
I tell you, the best weed I ever got was through colleges when I was young.
Because they got more mommies and daddies' money to spend without them
Yes,
there to tell them what to spend it on.
Cannabis.
I know my dad's not watching this, so I'm going to share this quick story. But my dad told me that some of his best customers was either at the college or right outside the auto plants. So that's the best places to be, he says.
A lot of dispos outside of the auto plants around the state, bro. There's a lot of, especially around Flint and stuff. Would you guys believe that we still have 751 dispos?
Yeah.
Oh, and there's more people applying for more every day, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got 94 renewals in the month of December and 71 new licenses issued. So
Yeah.
they're still coming in hot.
Yeah, I believe that.
Doesn't tell you how many we've lost though.
Well, maybe more townships are allowing them to come in too. So you're going to see new stores pop up in those areas.
Guess how
They're
many
needed.
provisioning centers there are active on the medical side?
Not many.
Mm.
I would say still about 100.
Okay. Brad, you got a guess?
I wasn't really listening. I was doing something,
Sorry.
and then I was reading chat.
How many medical dispensaries do you think there still are? Active licenses.
Licenses, not just like dispensaries themselves, because if it's like just a dispensary, I'll say like less than a dozen.
Well, like
Well,
the
most of them are
MMFLA
combo.
licenses.
Most of them are
So,
both.
like
Yeah.
it could still be a rec dispensary. It could be rec.
Right.
Yeah. Just how many
Oh,
like,
okay.
active?
I'd say 80. 80.
Okay, so 80, 100. Dan, there's no way you're going with 0.
Well, I was thinking something else, but yeah, very few, less than 100
Yeah, I would say less.
of medical only.
Okay.
provisioning
There's
centers.
actually 245 still.
Holy shit! So those are probably
There
in counties.
It's all
The northern counties and stuff,
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
because a lot of these jurisdictions, they're just like the state, where they, when they are first they're prohibitionary, then they'll let your foot in the door with just medical only, and then eventually they'll let rec in. So that's probably a lot of that going on. I bet you a lot of these medical facilities are in the north area, or maybe even the UP, and then Detroit, where they had medical only. I think still to this day.
Yeah.
I bet you a ton of them are in Detroit, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, could pull up the map, but that would take me too long. 29
Probably-
formal.
Actually, wait a second. So Detroit just opted in last year, so they're probably just waiting for their medical license to lapse in like March.
Right.
They're gonna fucking drop.
Yeah, you see a big drop off after that.
Yeah,
drop
you're
it
probably right.
first quarter of the year. Find out when Detroit opted in. I feel like it went through within the last 12 months. It might have happened in the spring. I could try to do a search. My hands are a little. I'm gonna roll something up here and then I can search it out real quick and figure that out.
They took in the month of December this is back to the rec side. The formal complaints. So those kind of those things I share in my stories sometimes, and fines and stuff like that. Most of them are spread pretty evenly across the different license types. Class C growers, there was 19. Processors though, they hit 29 formal complaints. So that's basically one processor a day was getting fined.
What are the complaints? What are the reasons?
They're not. I don't think they're listed here. I would have to go back through those memos, and you can see them all.
One of the
A lot
most
them are just-
common is untagged product that I see the most of.
AFS compliance
Are
usually.
these consumer complaints or these CRA
CRA investigations.
CRA investigation complaints?
Yeah. So in the month of December, they opened 78 investigations. They received 91 complaints. So let's start with that. They received 91 complaints, opened 78 investigations, closed 195 investigations. Took them an average of 97 calendar days to complete an investigation. And they took a total of 130 enforcement actions, including, I think, at least one license suspension. Or
It's
maybe
funny how they're changing the language now. It's sounding so police-like now that they've got this ex-police guy in there. It's like now we're tracking enforcements. Okay, great.
number of administrative hearing adjudications. No, yeah, I can't. This,
Yeah, it's like
Is there information on how many townships have opted, or how many of the townships are opt-in?
I don't think they had any of that stuff in there.
not on this. This is all more,
Dollars.
statistical reports for like, money pretty much.
What
And
was the tax revenue for 2023?
well, the total renewal fees was 1.68 million. Total revenue collected was 2.47 million by the CRA.
2.7 million.
Yep,
I guess we could figure
that's
out.
just licensing revenue.
So then, that's just licensing revenue.
Guess what their expenses were?
It's okay.
This is just in 1 month, guys. That's just in 1 month.
December. I want to shout out to Boom and shout out to the Detroit Lions. They are 1 win away. He brought it up twice in chat, so yeah. They deserve to be mentioned. 1 win away. Can see it in my lifetime. I can see it in my
already
lifetime.
been written. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Roman circus. It's all already been written. Michigan won the championship. Lions win the fucking thing. They're trying to bring in at least 3.2 million people to Michigan. This is how
Pistons are breaking their own streaks.
That's good. That's all good stuff. I'm not mad about any of that. We need more people in Michigan. This is a big state.
take
You got
out.
room. Come to the mitten. We'll keep you warm. Come to the mitten.
Don't tell them.
I froze up north.
Oh,
Yeah, but if we get more people up there, that means they'll build infrastructure. They'll make it nicer for people.
True.
The wall.
I found the answer to your question, and I might as well just share this screen.
There's always the Upper Peninsula. We barely populated the Lower Peninsula.
Y'all come down here. I'll go up to the Upper Peninsula. It's fine.
It's a long trek,
Off
man.
the north. I would definitely.
I love it too, man. It's like that. It's our only mountain.
We had a better growing climate.
It's the best shot of a mountain that we got.
Soon as I
So,
can afford some greenhouses, some underground.
Look at
yeah, geothermal
More
greenhouses, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, for real, man. A lot of them.
I want to have my house in the greenhouse.
Yeah, it's just be so humid. So yeah, you can see they
Prairie.
collected almost 2.5 million, and they spent just over 1 million. So they're doing pretty good. I think 16, 17. There it is. Municipalities opted in or out of the MRTMA. Red
Oh, nice.
opted
here
in 138. Still about
Opted
one for what is that?
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
And 1370 opted out.
Yep.
And then that leaves, I think there's like 1,800 in the state. So that leaves another like 300 or 400 of undecided, which means you could potentially get a license there if they don't have an opt out. They don't have to be opted in. They
Right.
Interesting.
just don't have to be opted out. That's the thing. They can't be opted out. They don't have to be opted in. You can get a license. They don't have to have ordinances.
That must be like dispo
Wow.
employees and stuff too, and growers and everything. But that's
Fun
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And
That's
for the most
fucking
part, they're all
cool to see.
decent paying jobs.
That's
Yeah.
just going to increase too as the
Yeah.
as the industry increases. That is cool.
Yeah, that's a good number to. That's a good thing to bring up to your city council. You know, if there's 35,000 jobs under the. That was
And
just MFL.
That's just direct jobs. Think about all the like suppliers and all these other jobs that are like affected by 35,000 cannabis
Go back,
employees.
early. Go back to the Michigan map. What was the?
Oh, it's just showing you the different. So they split up the regions into upper,
Okay.
lower, and UP, and then
That red zone. That
That's
red,
me.
it's not the 45th parallel.
yeah, and then you got everything like south of that, north of Bay City,
It's like they
and
kind of chunked it up by
Down here where it says Wayne County, that's at 42. So between Wayne County and the red, bottom of the red is 3 degrees latitude. Boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
42 to 45.
But yeah, they split up. They show all of the sales volume. So 28 million total in Wayne, 126 in that east.
How much distillate we got out there? 5 billion metric tons.
I could go back up, but it's like over 100,000 pounds of concentrates right now.
Right there. It doesn't say right there.
I mean, it's just going to show you how much the concentrates were sold and like.
Oh,
Wholesale Wayne County, is that at the bottom? Is that 1 month? Or is that
Yes, that's 1 month. This is just December.
geez, 28 million. Wow.
Yeah,
only
just
2 pounds. There's only 2 pounds of keef sold. That might have been just to me.
Huh?
No.
This is interesting. For the first quarter of fiscal year 2024, MTIS investigation sees 9,069 marijuana plants, 1,169 pounds of marijuana flower, 1,147 vape cartridges, and 43 edibles. What? 43?
43 edibles.
So
What was
weird.
that?
Okay, I have a question though. I have a question. The sales are what's included in sales? Is that just sales from point of sale to consumer, or is that including a buyer buying from a
I
manufacturer?
think it's just final retail
wholesale.
sale. Probably.
Sales.
It's only
Yeah.
retail sales.
I'm
These-
assuming.
These are broken down into retail sales,
Retail.
I
sales.
believe.
Okay.
But there is other data in here.
If there's an additional point in the thing that is duplicated, I don't know. It shouldn't be for any reason. You know what I mean? But
Well,
I don't know how
yeah.
this works. They're fucking idiots.
demographics, we've done that 6 months ago. I really don't think it changed. Medical marijuana registry program. So this is the MMMP. This is us. Denied 181. I used to never see any denials, but
Weird.
well,
Look at that renewal application. It doesn't make sense. They received almost 800, but they issued 838 and denied 44. How is that possible?
someone did
Michigan
the
math.
math wrong. Yeah, that's weird. You should write your congressman.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
Look at that. Look at that. What is 0.02 of 24 hours?
Well, that's a good question. I have no idea off the top of my head. Not very much.
It's
Yeah. Like,
about 30 minutes. I think, if I'm doing that right. Yeah, it's about a half an hour. So it takes about a half an hour to approve your online application. That's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that's about right.
Even less for renewals, about 15 minutes for renewals. Yeah, a lot
Why
of-
we gotta renew? That's stupid. They should just give us a lifetime card.
Here's your caregivers and patients per county.
Yeah, my fucking arthritis is not going away.
So I was saying, it's like chronic pain. That's not something that goes away. It's chronic. That's kind of in the definition of chronic.
I think Oakland County has the most caregivers. Looks like
Looks like it.
Wayne has the most patients, though.
Makes sense over by Detroit right now. That's
Well, it's the Tri-County area. There's 4.4 million people there. Last I checked.
true. Yeah, that's true.
It's
There's a
insane,
big,
dude.
big population there. Where's Jackson? What's Jackson sitting at?
Oops.
Right there. We're at 2,228.
No, you're in the thousands at least. That's good to see. Out of state 0, but there's 4 caregivers out of state. Huh?
What?
Huh?
Where do you see that? Out of state.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How the?
I'm not gonna question it. Whatever.
What? And you can be an out-of-state patient?
Here, what's up with
big
Washington?
caregiver.
What's the Washington numbers? That Washington used to be bumping.
Yeah, so they still got 5,000 caregivers are nothing though, man. Look at that. Jeez.
Wayne County's got the most. That includes Detroit.
Most patients, but not most caregivers.
That
Oakland's
most-
got the most.
Oh, first column is patients. The second column.
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not. The screen's not really big enough to. Yeah.
most caregivers.
No cards revoked. I guess that's pretty good. Oh, here you go. Nature of debilitating medical conditions of the qualifying patients.
Oh, they actually show you how the percentage of each one. That's cool to see.
Yeah.
Chronic pain still killing it at 60%.
Arthritis at
Arthritis.
20.
Damn, chronic pain and severe and chronic. Why is it chronic again?
We should
Severe and
we
chronic
should
pain.
list all of these for the listeners.
So it's really chronic pain is really 94%,
Mhm.
95%. And then there's a 20% for arthritis. So those aren't percents. What the fuck? That doesn't even equal. That's over 100%.
It's chronic. Yeah, those are weird. Percent total.
Maybe they're including severe and chronic pain
Maybe
in
people
the
have
chronic
multiple
pain category.
symptoms.
Maybe of the 60%, which is chronic pain, 44% of that is
It's severe chronic. It's not just chronic. What the? This is just wild. I don't understand this.
Yeah, they have everything from arthritis to cancer to chronic pain, Crohn's disease,
This is
HIV,
why I
and
asked that
AIDS.
sales question, man. Yeah, they're all idiots over there. They don't. You can't-
I just don't think there needs to be a difference between severe and chronic pain and chronic pain. It should be one category.
Well, it makes the percentages not equal 100. That's the
Yeah, we're definitely at like 140%. So I don't know.
No, like
see almost
somebody in
10%.
chat
Look at
somebody in
that.
chat brought it up. Abolish said, yeah, multiple conditions on one person could
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense too.
yeah.
Yeah,
But still, chronic pain and severe chronic pain is silly to have two categories. That should be one.
well,
yeah.
you're gonna make me Google it. I'll do that after we get through this. I think there's like one page left.
Chronic.
Well, it's like chronic
severe.
pain's like your pain level's like a 1 to a 5, and then severe chronic, your pain level's a 5, or maybe it's a 1 to a 7.
I think chronic pain just doesn't
Eight and a
go
half.
away. I think chronic pain just doesn't go away, right? But it could be a dull, like a 5, like you're saying. But if it's severe and chronic, then yeah, you're kicking up there at probably like 8, 9, 10. And
Why does it
doesn't go
matter?
away.
Chronic pain of a little amount or a lot amount should still warrant you to have a card. It doesn't. It
I
shouldn't have
agree.
a,
I agree. Application's not timely processed. Oh, you guys are doing your job. Thank you. Wow, look at the difference there.
9,000. Materials and equipment was $9,000.
So we're actually net negative on our MMP program.
Yeah, but the revenue from the other side, from the rec side, more than makes up for their operating expenses.
Oh yeah, overall, yeah. I mean, they're millions and millions and millions. Like, I don't think they'd be upset about $9,000 in loss when they're making
exactly.
$100 billion a year or whatever.
Oh my god, that would be so unpopular for them to do. You thought it was bad with the MCMA. Yeah, we would. Yeah, I'd be up there talking up at the Capitol again. I know that. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I looked it up. I'm just seeing stuff about acute pain and chronic pain, but nothing about acute or severe versus chronic.
Severe chronic pain versus chronic pain. It just seems like putting super in front of something and calling it different.
Mine's better.
Tell you what, this banana contest, maybe it's just new terps or something to me, but it's really hitting me pretty
Pain's
good.
a wild thing, man.
I love that
Supposed
one
to be a-
myself. It's a good one, Russ.
It's supposed to be a sativa. It feels stony.
It's a good one. I like it a lot. Makes good rosin too.
It reminded me of GMO when you're trimming it, like the grainy.
Mm.
That grainy, like you could see the trikes just falling off. And I want to get into that trim bin. I forgot and collect all that stuff that fell through that screen because that's some of my favorite smoke.
I love that trim bin, Keith.
Me too. Me too.
Love
I'll
it.
even let my trim bin sit outside and freeze just so I can shake it a little bit more and get a couple more trikes out there.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Dan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm doing tonight?
it works. I'm telling you.
I bet it does.
How do you guys collect it from the bottom? Do you use like the brush they give you, or do you have like a card or something? Or
You never use a card.
No.
You get micro scratches in your.
Here's the pro tip.
not a
Pro tip.
static card? Yeah.
Pro tip is parchment paper in there
Yeah.
first.
That's what I do.
Parchment paper in there first.
Oh,
Then
that's
you do your trim and everything. You pull your parchment paper up. You can fold it down the middle.
And just
Pour it
try
right
not
in.
to sneeze.
You can use that brush on the parchment paper to brush it into a line or something if you want to.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
just
but I
dump
don't
it in.
ever use a card.
It's a good idea. Never thought of that.
Yeah, I learned that. But yeah, I usually fill up a thing like this.
And I
Just
store
keep
in
it
the
right
fridge.
here.
Or you keep it on your desk?
Yeah, I
keep
keep
it in the
it.
fridge.
It only lasts a couple days, Dan. It doesn't, it's
I was
not
gonna
around.
say probably uses it too fast, going in and out of the fridge too many times. Might as well just keep it out.
Surprisingly, I still have some GMO dry sip that Becca gifted me.
Yeah, there you go.
I've had this a couple months.
Yum.
Oof.
Sounds good.
Yes, I rationed.
She definitely converted.
Oh yeah.
We've got fresh GMO right now. Some sip.
I can't wait to get some.
Tasty.
Yes.
We also smoked all of ours.
See some of you guys this weekend coming up at the Fledge.
Yeah, that's a Sunday this time.
Yeah, 1 week.
Yes, I'm off work.
Nice.
Yes, I can stay the whole time this time. Darn it, I hate when I have to go up there, rush around, and gotta leave.
I would miss that one. It'll be
We
that.
have our outdoor flower with us. Excited for that.
Hippie Crasher.
Hippie Crasher. Some
Oh,
other
yay.
flow.
Oh, I can't wait to try that Hippie Crasher.
We'll have indoor as well, but we are going to have our outdoor. Our outdoors are organic. All of our indoors hydro. So we're going to actually have some no-till, organic, closed loop, regenerative. I can put all the words on it because we don't use any sprays either. We didn't touch it. The only thing to touch those plants was rain. We watered them in the beginning of the season, and it was all dry farming from July on out. So
Nature's way.
nature's way. We have that flower with us. We're gonna make some hash out of that soon. It's been cool. Yeah. Well, we went through the last bit of the last couple crops, but we're finally getting through. We started doing jars, so it's easier for us to package a little bit of everything now rather than taking a lot of it. So, just because of the way things have to fit in store, we're able to reconfigure things, and in the midst of that is allowing us to take things in a different way. So we can have a couple ounces, divvied out into some quarter jars of some outdoor. So we don't have to bring it in bulk. We can just bring some quarters.
Well, and it's going to save you guys a lot on production time there too. Having to divvy out.
It takes most of our week of trimming and stuff, like among other things we have to do throughout the week, but we spend our time trimming. You know what I mean? Usually only get through the indoor. By the time we get to some outdoor, it's like I don't have time to do like a half pound outdoor or anything like that. So it's like I might as well just trim a couple ounces and just put a couple quarters to the side. You know what I mean? And just do that instead, and just bring a couple quarters. I don't have to bring a whole pound, a half pound. You know what I mean? I don't have to do my whole weight limit of outdoors on the other, and just try to fill it all up for indoor. We can take a couple samples and just bring samples. I like the jar idea. It's working out. I like it. we ordered some new. We fucked around on Photoshop with some of the imagery that we had gotten through. Shout out Astro Charlie again. He did all of our imagery, and we ended up take an old logo and fuck around with it on Photoshop and see what we could do and add some text to it. And ended up making a little jar label for ourselves. And then we also made a jar label specifically for organic. So the organic has a little, it says like naturally, organically grown or something like that on the bottom. And so we got a handful of those made up. And I'm pretty excited about that. Have a little jar style going. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that rolls off for how
I think it's important, man. I put it on my flower jars because we're grown in organic soil, and I'm not spraying it or anything. I'm doing it as far as I'm aware, as far as I could tell, doing it organically. So like, I put hand trimmed on there. I put organically grown, and maybe indoor. I don't know, something else.
That's what keeps you guys craft. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps us and our little micro grows craft, which sets us not only the quality but the effort we put into it sets us aside from the other side we were talking about there just a little bit ago. We spend time with each and every one of our flowers individually. We can't say that on the other side. So that's where quality on our side is of the utmost.
That's what I like about small batch. I like small pitch for that. You put a lot of intention into it. You're not just like the focus of it. And yes, Dan, yes, absolutely. To your point, where every single bud, at least for us, where we're not using shake bags, we're not using rollers, nothing like that. We're handling and even when people come over and help us, Tara's right there, so she's come over. She was coming over again later this week. Give us a hand, and it's all hand trimming. You know what I mean? It's every bud is individually either they're quality checked first off. You know what I mean, for presence of mold, I don't know, bugs, whatever's going to be there, seeds, whatever might be there. First there's a quality check, and then there's a trim down, then there's another quality check, and it's all, hopefully it's not overly handled, but it's checked. You know what I mean? It's personalized. Every bud has been handled with intention, and that is really what makes it a craft product, because it really cuts into your ROI having to time out and hand trim that product when it can very easily be ran through a trimming machine and pumped through the other side in such a bulk, fashion. I mean, you run it through 3, 4, fucking 5 times, whatever, collect the keef, whatever, and just throw it off. But the other thing is, I think growing it, there's a point where I think that scale does determine craft, to like, it's like how many hands are on a plant. Could be few, but again, how often are those hands, or at least eyes? How often are eyes? Minimal, and I think that there's a point where like craft for me, and I know we've talked about this in the past. At least I've listened to it. I think I don't know if I got a chance to talk about this specifically, but for me, craft means that the not just the person with the intellectual property on the subject, not just the person that does that, but the person that is the money man, the person that's everything, has a hand in that business every day. Is there. It's the owner is still working. The owner works the company. The owner is the tradesman. I think that makes it a craft. I think that the craft is and it's difficult to scale that up. You know what I mean? As the owner of a 50,000 square foot warehouse going to be able to check it all the time? I don't know. Maybe they can, and if so, that is the scale that they can reach. You know what I mean? If you can do a 1 mile hectare farm of outdoor, you know what I mean, and keep it craft, that's the scale that you can reach. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a definitive number. You know what I mean? But I think that it's a point to where like that person is in control of the ethos, and that whole ethos is defined through all kinds of things, whether it's the SOPs that the workers are with, whether it's hands-on specifically, whether it's the money handling, if it's the business handling. I think it should be a little bit of all of that. It should be hands in marketing, hands in answering decisions. I see businesses ran by what was small businesses, and now it's boards and directors and HR and the original owners of the company have no say in anything that goes on in the business at all anymore. And I think that is no longer craft at that point, when other people are making the decisions, and all of the integrity has been changed upon and based on now market, sales, ROI, and all of these other things that maybe to the integrity of the original proprietor. For me as a proprietor, I'm more focused on the consumer. I'm more focused on the high end portion of, and maybe not high end is a bad word, but at least quality, high quality and connoisseur. And if there's an additional cost to that, there's an additional cost to that. But also being able to make that affordable to people is the option to do. But in the big thing is like, if there's a need for somebody, if somebody's, a nice part about being a small business owner also and being craft in that type of respect is that when you're directing and working with the community, you're also able to give freely. Like once you're no longer part of your management team, like I was talking about this through, I don't know, some online conversation stupidly. about how there should be. Oh, it's hash time. The once policy ends up getting directed in, usually lawyers get involved and all this other stuff happens, and then you end up running into the scenario where like a restaurant or a grocery store or something like that can't donate their food to a food pantry because all of a sudden there's a risk. And I know that there's a risk, but maybe you're willing to take that risk as a small business and donate your food to a food pantry. You know what I mean? Otherwise, once you get to a scale and all of a sudden everything starts, other people are in charge of your money. You know what I mean? The legal department takes over, and they have a clause in there that says, no, we can no longer donate our food to these companies because there's a risk involved. Well, I guess you can't do it anymore. And that's when the scale takes over. And I think that's when the craft begins to decline. And I think that's when it begins to become conventional. Yeah. Commercialized and conventional, so to speak. Yeah. Hash time. And so take a dab for the I was like the Jackson Brown song, The Pretender, that everybody that's still got a dream, and staying alive. Cheers to you.
What a great song.
Going in again on this.
I like to think of cannabis, and I like to compare it more to vegetables, and I wish I could get more people to do that than to compare it to alcohol, for example. Because alcohol is way bad for you. Vegetables are way good for you. Cannabis is way good for you. And so I like to compare it with vegetables. And when we start talking to people that may not know or understand the difference between craft, I'd love to give that analogy we've given a million times on the show before. And it's like craft vegetables. What is craft vegetables? It's just homegrown is all that is. It's like the difference of your homegrown tomato and your store-bought tomato. Now, with that being said, it goes both ways, and I think that commercial cannabis is eventually going to get to the point to where they'll have, bred strains that are, bred specifically to do well in commercial situations, and there'll be a commercial product for the masses that is going to be good enough for the masses. But there's always going to be that craft market that wants that backyard tomato. They want that flavor. They don't want the.
That's what I mean. Is there's the market for it. It's not just going to sit on the shelf. And the thing about that is because that market is smaller, the chance of overproduction goes down because you can be more responsible with your scaling. You know what I mean? You don't have to overscale. And like I was talking about last week, I don't know if it was on the late sesh, but we were talking about the buried book. Now I have this available this morning. We were looking through it, but the Market Gardener book here that when you start to get into the appendix of this book, it starts to give, like this one here, I believe specifically is cauliflower, and it looks like carrots. It's probably in the C's, but it starts to tell you like row spacing, densities, because this is high density crops. These are designed to not run mechanical implementation. And here's the book right there, the Market Gardener, J.M. Fortier, and the half of this book is the book itself, where it talks about how to run a small scale farm with minimal tillage, minimal mechanical implementation, definitely nothing large scale. And the other half is really the appendix that talks about the planting and gives you like planting dates based on his latitude. You know what I mean? And that's Vancouver, British Columbia area, Canada. So I don't know, what's that, 45, 50 parallel, something like that, somewhere in that range, probably similar to us. So I take a lot of that with, give or take a week or two, you know what I mean, a few days, but nonetheless, it's spacing throughout the season because you're progressively planting. You're planting in sequence. You're relay cropping, so to speak. And through that, like you can include this scale in permaculture, which is nice because there's a lot of farming methods that you can't really include in permaculture because with the use of chemicals or with the use of like covering or just things like that, you end up killing off a lot of the biology and a lot of the diversity and in the biointensity, so to speak. But these systems involve biointensive cropping and growing different crops and things like that. So I don't know where I was going off the line on this and why I was getting into this specifically, but basically is that you can cut your scale down and you can cut your needs, so to speak, down, and you can still sustain if that's what you're willing to do. Now, if you're willing, if your goal is ultimately to catch 99% of the market share, have the lowest ROI, and specifically like get a yacht in Miami and fucking blow and do the thing,
Private jet, wee.
that's your fucking thing. This is probably not the conversation for you, and I don't know, dude. I'm probably not gonna be interested in hanging out.
We're more like this, guys. We're more like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a sweet shirt, man. I like that.
That's
Thank
how.
you.
I gotta get me one of those shirts.
It's like the Star Wars theme.
Yep.
And I'm not even a Star Wars guy, but it's still cool.
Right, that's cool as shit.
The reason I don't know how we transitioned, and I know that Red was referencing you both, Spartan and Red, were talking about something, and while you guys were talking, I was searching for it.
The food. You're comparing it with the
Fucking crap.
No, I know. I was
and keeping the scale small while still being able to sustain or at least even profit.
right.
And
So
also feed families and also employ others as well.
and all that because I was searching for this post that I want to share because I saw it today and I was wondering if Spartan maybe saw it too because of what he said about just breeding for commercial strains. This one made me laugh.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't
put
see
out
this
the
one.
OGs. OG strains are one of those strains that hate the quote unquote one size fits all cultivation programs established by all these new investors who don't know shit about growing.
Yeah.
And so that's maybe. I thought that was kind of
It's a good point.
interesting take and probably some truth to it.
Yeah, they all want shit that finishes in fucking 37 days and tests 37%.
That has no leaves. It's just
Yeah,
grows
no
hard.
leaves, and they don't have to trim it.
Yep. No trimming. Just
Fucking cocksuckers.
That's
Sorry.
how I really feel, Dan.
Oh,
and if it's not over 20% THC, it doesn't matter what the terps are. They don't care. It's garbage. It's garbage
no,
to them.
I seen 18 percenters with 4% terps get tossed to the side.
Yeah, that's what happened with my Durban Poison. It was 16% with 4% terps.
Like, whoa. But that's just bad.
But that's okay. That keeps
Yeah.
the craft growers with the best stuff. So I'm okay with that. I just smile about it. Like, okay,
Yeah, it's just.
you do you, I'll do me.
It's amazing.
So I do have a little good news for Ohio people. Now I don't know how far this reaches out to. This is just a friend that I know of. Family member is a part of a pain management situation, and in Ohio, their pain management person told them that they were allowed to have edibles now, which that's huge. Because if you're in pain management, that they drug test you religiously every time you come in, every time. So if you don't pass a drug test, and up until this point, marijuana has been a part of it, you could not partake in the pain management, program. So I feel like that's huge for pain management people in Ohio because, opioids is the biggest,
That's
killer,
huge.
not the biggest, but a huge killer. So I feel like that's a great avenue for people now to be able to go. My friend was able to, her mom immediately was like, "Can I talk to Tara?" And I was like, "Hello, let me help." So hooked her up with some FSO, rollerball, edibles. So combination of the three.
Nice.
She's really had some good relief, and every day she's honestly given a really great, and it's been 5 days now, and she's slept through the night where she hadn't been sleeping through the night. So she's really, really got a lot of relief. Whereas the husband is now asking, "Can I be a part of this also?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, Come on,
That's super cool.
Congratulations.
Get on board. And they're
Does that feel
they're
good when you know you're helping
close to
people?
their
You know what I
70s.
mean?
So that's, a big thing for me is, to get that older generation over that, phobia that it's just, so yeah.
It's a hard hurdle to come over when
Yeah. Well, I mean,
living in
That's a big one, and that's a huge like indicator of the way that the country's moving to more acceptance. Because, man, usually that's a huge red flag for that to go to one of those pain clinics. That you have test positive THC, they kick your ass out.
Yep. So I'm hoping that this is a step in. I don't know if it's all pain management, but this one that a friend's parents are associated.
Is that if you have a medical card, or is that even if you don't have a medical card?
No medical card. No.
Wow, that's really big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I know in Michigan, if you have a medical card, that helps you if you're on parole. So you could have THC if you're on parole. So that's cool. You don't even have to have a card. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's huge. So hopefully making some strides in the right direction to help people and get them off these damn pills. And there's so many other avenues. And just, plant medicine. If it's just shocking, Even for your dietary benefits, plant medicine. I'm definitely been looking into it myself on switching my diet around a little bit and doing plant-based food now. So definitely looking into some new things. And
it's just so cool to have a plant medicine, you don't have to worry about side effects. It's been used for all of human existence pretty much.
Mm-hmm. They were definitely afraid. They asked, can I die? And I was like, absolutely not. Can I overdose? And I was like, absolutely not. You're going to feel a little funny maybe because it's, something you've never done before. So expect that. I definitely gave them all of the scenarios possibly to feel, not feel. But, I definitely felt like it was
if you get a hold of some CBD, it's always nice to give that to first-time people.
Yeah, that's another thing that we talked about also. So
cool.
Definitely gonna be moving in, hopefully, the right direction for them and get them some help.
Real CBD.
I'm just thankful that, and it was so funny because somebody else actually that like 2 days later came up and they're like, "Do you know anything about these hemp drinks?" And I was like, well, no, but I'll read it and I'll see what it talks about. Maybe I can explain it to you a little better. And, they're in their later 60s. I wouldn't say 70s, but later 60s. And so I felt good that they were even like branching out there to think of new things. And, when I told her that it was, good for joints and inflammation, she was like, oh, okay, I think I could do this. So certain wordage, definitely, if you can correlate the two, helps a lot.
Absolutely. Another cool thing is just having doing a batch of coconut oil with some trim, even doesn't have to be anything crazy, and then give them some medicated coconut oil. And if they like to drink coffee, like most of the older people that I know of, just to put a little bit of that in your coffee in the morning, you'll move around way better.
Working on that. My sister-in-law got a Levo, so she's gonna start processing all my trim for me.
That's nice.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah, and it's even funny because she has nothing to do with cannabis. So just, her liking gummies, this is where this is all stemmed from. So it's really, I just love it. Just love it.
Shout out to Cat420. See him in chat, chimming in from Thailand. And shout out to Daddy Red. I saw him up there in chat too. Go Lions. Daddy Red was sure very excited to see the Lions capture tonight's win.
Daddy Red, it's going to happen in our lifetime, man. The Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl in our lifetime. Can you fucking believe it?
The dice was taken. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, chat.
We'll see.
Cheers, everybody tuning in.
Yeah, we got one more to go, right?
Becca.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It can't be stopped now, Becca. You don't see all the evidence leading to this point.
You're just too positive about it. When you're just
There's no too positive, Becca. We need all the positive we can get. There's no too positive.
I mean, it was really. I mean, this is how they do it. This is how they bring people here and they get the thing.
Exactly.
And look,
I've been a fan too
I don't
long.
want
I
to
know
be
better.
that person, but there are a lot of things being said right now about shit being fucking.
Things are
Not-
weird, man. This is
Not
part-
on the up and up with football as we all know it,
Right.
but there's been
Hey.
some things leaked over the
Fine
past
with me.
day. Who's in
Fine
the
with me. If it means the Lions go to the Super Bowl, fine with me. Let's
thing
go.
was,
Let's
is
do it.
Look at those numbers about how many
have the
people tune
Lions in it,
into
so.
this wicked sport. You know,
Yeah, it is a wicked sport, all right.
the number of people who tune in. I mean, it is. I mean, they've used the Roman circus, so to speak, quote unquote, type technique to entertain for hundreds, if not thousands of
Come on,
years.
Red. Can we not be entertained? Can we not have one thing? Can we
You
not
can
be?
entertain, man. You need to be entertained. It's one
Can
thing.
we have one? Can we have one? Can we have football? Can we have one thing, man?
Entertainment is one thing, and to be loving entertained, forcefully entertained, and for other reasons is another. And like we all thought WWF was real, right? We all thought that was real.
We wanted to
No.
think it was real.
They're taking the falls and they're taking the damage, and that's impressive as shit, man. What do you mean?
I still find myself watching that.
It's scripted. Oh, I can't. It's too soap opera. If they would actually wrestle more, I would watch
Not
it.
like I'll just like clip it's kind of thing, but I like to definitely
This is
keep
what we're
track of
talking
it.
about.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's been like all over the internet today, so it was a real fucking bad downer.
What do you mean?
Because read the bottom.
Guys, this is Canadian news.
I know, read the bottom.
Vancouver Island.
Which we already knew the singers. We already knew all that. That's not something surprising there, but the
Roman
other part,
circus.
The 49ers and Baltimore Ravens.
Because we have to play the 49ers this weekend.
Cash
I don't know.
so
It's the
so far both teams are still in. And yeah,
Well, so far, but guess what?
I know.
No one expected the Lions to beat all the way that they did, and guess
I
what?
just think it'll be really
You can't,
shitty.
you
if
can't
that
spook me with some
comes to-
AI generated bullshit. You can't spook me with that.
I don't
Lions are still gonna win.
Happiness.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And
But
definitely,
all I'm saying is it's an election year, and
that's true too.
you're trying to bring some people to Michigan, and let's just I don't want. I'm not gonna go too deep, man. I'm gonna keep. I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Who's gonna run from Michigan to be?
No,
in that-
I'm not going deep into this. That's not my place. I don't want to do it. For girl, you muted to speak.
Is that tomorrow night on the late session?
No, I'm not
There
gonna
we go. It's a teaser.
get it there, man. I'm not getting my camera.
Why not?
I want my camera to go blank. I know too much, man. I'm not.
I mean, share it.
Nope.
Prove it.
All I say is it's already written. The Lions are winning the Super Bowl. What's that?
It would be
Start-
crazy.
we'll start there.
It
We'll
would
start
be
there.
crazy if it was all rigged.
3.1
That would be nuts.
million people moved.
Oh, I would be happy if they won. I'm not even saying that. I just want the Lions
Michigan.
to have made a Super Bowl. I want them to go to the Super Bowl.
I mean, Michigan's already a fully functioning, but mostly
do
Democrat
you
state.
think the Lions winning the Super Bowl is going to convince people to move to Michigan?
No, but it's a start. It's putting Michigan. It's more of a subliminal message. It's not really
It's more propaganda.
It's more propaganda. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I like where we're going with this.
Water state, bring it on.
Well, people don't move here and like drink the water from the lake.
Well, what's going to happen is they're gonna leave other blue states and come to Michigan because it's the land of the blue, right? Blue water, blue democracy, blue politics, right? Telling you, man, it's written. It's
It depends on where you live in Michigan, there, man.
well, I know, but the overall, right? The overall,
The actual government.
yeah, the actual, Lansing overall. And so I'm just, I'm not gonna get it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to.
Oh, we've already
Oh,
opened
God.
Pandora's box.
Too far. I don't want to open the box. It's been written. It's been written. So we don't need to change. We don't need to talk.
So I feel like it's mostly been scripted against the Lions for so long because of so many just awful calls. But then you see a couple like non-calls, and you're like, oh, you can kind of flip it real quickly. So who knows? You're muted, Red.
Detroit's beautiful now. It's owned by the families that be. And I'm not going to say them. So I don't want to speak of these names at all.
Did he say, well,
Congratulations.
I need a lip reader.
Congratulations to the
And
Detroit Lions.
we could say that the opposing team, you're right, the city of the opposing team could quite necessarily be in the ruins that Detroit may have been 20 years ago.
I think what
Oh.
Red is trying to say is the Lions are destined to go all the way.
It's the
That's
destiny.
what he's saying.
See what it is? There's a flip flop of what's going on culturally and physically. It's like the Kundalini shift, right? The Kundalini shift, but it's also occurring here within
That reminds me of a different word, Red, when you say that.
Campanelli pasta.
Oh boy,
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
spiritual.
that's
So-
for a different show.
Also tomorrow late. Tomorrow
I
night
don't
on
even
the
think
late
that's
session.
for the late sesh.
Oh, okay. Is that a Thursday kind of show? or-
I don't know. That might be a no
So I looked up the betting odds for the Lions, the 49ers that came out, I guess, today. The point spread. Let's
I
see.
do not even want to see the 49ers.
Yeah,
Oh.
that little thing would be sweet because that's maybe fixing bets by making people all suspicious.
That's-
What's the spread?
Maybe
So
that's why it
the
was
spread is 49ers are at negative 6.5. So that means they're slated to win by 6.5 points.
I want like 14, give me 14 and I'll fucking throw money at that.
The point over under point total of 50.5. Most of these games seem like they haven't been hitting the point. So I don't bet, but I love like making bets at home with Mr.
Yeah, I don't.
Farley.
I am suspicious
Those
that
are called safe bets.
I have done bets before, but I'm suspicious about betting. Is like I won't bet on teams that I want to win because I feel like that when I do that, it makes them, it gives them bad juju and they lose. And I want
Fair
to
enough.
win.
But yeah, so basically the 49ers are at a 6.5 point favorite right now. I'm not surprised by that. I
I'm
don't
not either,
pay
but it
too much
stinks.
attention
You
to
know,
this
it's
stuff,
like
but-
they're always, they're they're like the Cowboys. They're one of those teams that are like always in it, like the Patriots and the Cowboys. It's like, come on, give us some new teams.
Well, and Taylor Swift and Kelsey obviously are going to the Super Bowl, so we're not going to face. They won today. We're not going to face them until the Super Bowl. But
Okay, so I am on the other side of the Kelsey brothers. I am all about Jason and the
Yeah.
Eagles, and man, I was really upset if he really is retiring. I heard he might have already.
I could not confirm that. Whatever I saw earlier.
I heard that it was like leaked that it was, but then on his podcast with his brother, he never came out and said he did. But he was pretty emotional, and that made me pretty emotional. And because it's a good story, It's just both of them, the brothers, the family. It's just, I don't know. If you like football, that kind of thing, it is. It's one of those things, and I've watched their career, and it's pretty cool. And just to see it, when you see a good guy, he's a good guy. That's the thing.
I bet he's making some money on that podcast. I bet he's doing all right. He's like, I could just stop hurting myself in this game.
Yeah,
and just
I'm
keep
sure.
running with this.
I'm sure. And plus, he can run off his brother's curtails for a while too. He's been on SNL because of his
Swiftie.
brother. I mean, come on. we got Taylor.
How many
involved
jerseys
now,
has
so,
he sold this year? Holy crap, man!
So yeah.
You mean she sold? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. I want to know what the closed door meetings were about that setup. Think about how
They're
many
gonna
billions of
be
dollars
married,
they're
so it doesn't
generating.
matter anymore, right? So now they're combined.
Yep. Yeah.
I just
So
broke
I hope to
Gurley's
see
heart.
everybody
He must have
pledge
been a
this
Swiftie.
weekend. Oh,
He
I'm
didn't
sorry.
know.
What'd you say?
I said I must have broke for Gurley's heart. He must have been a Swiftie.
No, I think he
He
was.
didn't know she was getting married. He
I think
he had
he was talking
turned his
to-
camera off. He can't come back rubbing his eyes.
He was.
You know,
having-
the particle collider. It happened like the particle collider. They created that thing that was like, I don't know, went through like forced.
I heard that.
It's like France and I don't know, Sweden or something. I'm terrible with geography, so this probably isn't it. It was, it went around.
The super collider.
Yeah. And it created a rift, right? It created a rift in time and space, and it fucked
Well, I
up
heard that. That's a theory. I've heard. Yes.
Mandela, like the fucking Kazam, that thing doesn't exist anymore. Bernstein Bears lost an eye. You know what I mean? All this
Bears.
weird, everything weird happened, right?
Right.
Fruit of the Loom lost the basket, lost the fucking
Bro, did you see that story about that lady with the Fruit of the Loom? That was awesome.
the Fruit of the Loom, and she's gonna try to get copyright infringement. What was it?
No, she was saying that they had said that the Fruit of the Loom never had that what is that horn of plenty? The horn of plenty with the fruit, which I remembered that.
The cornucopia.
And she found some old clothes, and she dug it up. It was Fruit of the Loom, and I had it on there, even though Fruit of the Loom, the company claimed they didn't have it ever.
But man, things have been weird since like John Mayer has been with the Grateful Dead for the last since 2015. Okay, here's the thing. I went to prom with John Mayer.
Wait a minute, what does John Mayer have to do with this? Wait a minute, how's that? What's that connection?
Because
Full
this is
circle.
crazy. This is crazy. I hated listening to John Mayer as a teenager, right? And I've seen John Mayer live a dozen fucking times amongst a million other fucking people. Having a great time listening to
I've
John.
never seen John Mayer.
I've seen him on YouTube, like his lives. He's a hell of a fucking guitar player.
I've seen John Mayer live, but it was performing with the Grateful Dead, so I mean that's my excuse. But the Deadhead Revolution, so I could see somewhere in this new strange reality where Deadheads and Swifties are one, where there's Swifty Deadheads.
Oh,
Things are gonna get really weird, man.
She
Things are.
dated John
So,
Mayer.
so they're the Swifties are the new Deadhead generation.
No, because John
it's-
Mayer and Taylor Swift.
and I could see there being like Deadhead music being played at Taylor Swift concerts or vice Taylor Swift songs played at, I don't know, man. Things are gonna get really
Because John Mayer and Taylor Swift, was their connection?
They dated.
they dated, but then there's also like just
John Mayer dated a lot of freaking
Here's the deal,
people.
right?
Taylor Swift.
If you believe in like the Hollywood propaganda, okay, and then like the Disney propaganda, and any of that kind of stuff. There's also Grateful Dead propaganda, which is the CIA involvement. Which basically, I mean, if you basically go Hollywood, Disney, Grateful Dead, all psyops, right? That could all be psyops. So I mean, could be. I'm not saying that they are. Could
True.
all.
I give you that. Could be.
And so all of them could be, and potentially all. So what is the John Mayer / Taylor Swift thing? Just another one of those, you know? And dude, it's all wild.
I don't know enough about it, but the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing is for sure a business move.
Well, she did a lot of real smart stuff by delabeling herself and then
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
releasing all of her fucking music under her own fucking label.
Called
Which-
Taylor's version.
Which said "fuck you" off to the old label because she said, "I'm gonna do it myself with my $1 million. I'll invest." And then not only that, but did she, dude? That Midnight's album had like 8 different copies of the one album came out in multiple different colors.
Sounds like you like Taylor Swift.
Well, I mean, I think.
I mean, it's like all over the place right now.
drive
You have
by
to
hit you
kinda-
like that?
No, you kind of
No,
like have to know how
It
Taylor
was a fucking drive-by for sure.
It's just like getting, hip to good, business
Just
practice.
like you gotta know what Riz means, you know.
But the thing is, I mean,
Who
honestly,
Taylor
she's
is.
Illuminati. I think she wouldn't be independent. I think she's like worked in this independent route. So yeah, never mind.
Either you got it or you don't.
Shmumanamni. But yeah, respect for that, I suppose.
But she sucks, right, Red? We don't like Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know any of her newer stuff. I know
Yeah,
her
we
stuff from DJing music, but I don't know any of her newer stuff.
All right, we're good now.
All
See,
of it.
Becca, it's good. We're all good.
Just because I'm a record collector, I got a copy of a purple version of the Midnights, because that was the rare one. Target.
I think she's a good singer. I like Taylor Swift. I'm not going to her concert. I would never pay the.
Oh no! I wouldn't. Not even if I had a box. I don't even want to walk in there, dude.
No, that's not my scene. Yeah, no
No,
thanks.
I think
No offense. I didn't mean.
I think she's a good singer.
I
That's just-
actually had a lot of respect for her, and as a performer, as an artist, that kind of thing. But
Yeah,
something recently came to my attention that you couldn't actually buy her. So she put out her tour on. You could go to the movie theater and see it, or you could purchase it on DVD. But you can't purchase it on DVD. You can only purchase it for 48 hours. You cannot
Rent it.
purchase it. You can only rent it for 48 hours. You can't have it
that's
in your
dumb.
possession, hold
Yeah.
that son of a bitch at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So right there, that was what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Welcome.
That's how people
when I
make
say I'm like when I can hear it for free on the radio or something. I don't turn it. Yeah, not
I-
usually.
Internet.
I do turn some of her songs. I don't like all of her songs. That's
No,
100% for
I'll
sure.
listen to some of
I
them.
hate to say it, but I think what it is because a lot of other artists do this where they not only do they just drop onto like they do all this stuff where they start charging for all this random stuff, and I get it because honestly, music can just be downloaded and stolen for free in a lot of respects. So they need to supplement their income in other areas. So there is that aspect to it. But I think that a lot of it, and I don't know if Taylor Swift doing this, but a lot of people just like hire, similarly to what corporations do, is they outsource, so they hire marketing people or programs that then set them up with all these products. You know what I mean? Like you need pens, you need all this stuff. So we're going to hook you all up with it all. You know what I mean? And then rather than just fucking do it, here's the money.
Promotional merchandising.
Yeah, dude.
I used to work for one of the biggest promotional merchandising companies in the nation. Well, it became that, not while I was there.
You know, and then your own name becomes corporatized in that respect because all of a sudden you're not the one making decisions anymore. Other people are. You've just given all of your. Sometimes you have to because it's overwhelming. You know what I
Because
mean?
at a point they get so
Oh yeah,
You
issues.
just-
scalability, right?
Right,
so
exactly. That's
famous.
scalability,
It
right?
happens in the garden. It happens in the storefront. You know what I mean? It happens on the manufacturing side, the processing, all of it.
And the problem is that's what's popular right now. Buying an app and having a subscription model, anything. You know, you get a movie or a music piece for 24 hours and that's it. Well, that's what everybody's doing. So that's big in wherever it's coming out of, wherever the app base is. I'll just say Silicon Valley because it's, you know.
That's when I unplug. Anytime they say some kind of subscription thing, if I can't pay cash, I'm already 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
And then if I can't pay cash, and then if I can't pay just all up front and be done with it and not have to keep paying, getting nicked every fucking month, I'm out. Let me pay it once and be done.
Yeah. Push the trendiest marketing strategy, and you know.
I really like
just
Taylor
roll with it
Swift
for a
back
year.
in the day, like when she just started coming out. I was much.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I went to her concerts then.
She was all country then too, and then now she's
Country, yeah.
pop
Very
mainstream.
pop, yeah.
Country won't have nothing to do with her now. So
Yeah, I've liked her less recently.
Ooh.
Music.
Oh,
I
just
don't like
seeds.
to have opinions about famous people too hard because it's so like, who knows, dude? Like, you have no idea if they're like genuine people. You know, it's such a show.
Oh yeah.
I just like don't even like to have opinions. Like, she's fine. I'll listen to her music, whatever. But that's just me.
I can't figure it out, man. I don't know. It's sometimes it's like, yeah, the entertainment's entertaining, and then other times I'm like, man, they're digging under your skin. Entertainers are they hook line and sinker in, like that whole like I don't know. I'm not gonna.
It's like Netflix, and then upping their prices, and then saying, "Oh, you can't have multiple accounts now." Now everyone has to have their own account, or you have to start adding more profiles or paying more, or whatever.
And they also remove quality entertainment. You know what I mean? They start.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm not going to say filtering their entertainment, but they start like doing different contracts with different media providers and shit like that. It ends up being a filtering of entertainment.
It's just like TV channels, but they have a lot of shows.
It's so weird nowadays.
Gotta have
Nowadays,
them all.
it's very weird. Like I wish that there's a model that like had everything and you could just watch what you wanted, rather it be like
There is. It's called the internet.
I know, yeah. You have to
You
like
can find it. You can find it all pretty easy.
get off of those subscription model things, just like IMDb some stuff. You know what I mean, and just look it up that way. But without risking a malware or virus attached to it or some stupid shit like that. Also,
like
search. I always search
about everything.
that just exists, but I do feel like there's some sort of like I hate using the word agenda, but like some sort of like kind of like at the whim of whatever entertainment is provided to you by the creator of that platform. You know what I mean? Like, not that they're like censoring anything, but maybe they're only releasing certain information to you and not giving you the other information. You know what I mean? And so that's why I have a hard time with social media and like getting only all my movies off of one source when I'd like to watch movies that are like old cult classics and like shit like that. And some of that stuff is like censored through. I don't think you can find like certain things on Netflix. Well, you definitely can't find certain things on Netflix, but like, you know, you won't find it. And you probably won't find it on Hulu, and you probably won't find it on all these other ones because in a sense they're censored. You know, not that these movies are even X-rated, but there's just a form of censorship that like, you know, they just don't want you to, for some reason, watch, you know? I don't know. It's hard examples, difficult examples. But.
I haven't watched TV in so long. I just watched.
Yeah, that's why I can't find good examples. But I've tried looking for stuff. I'm like, can't find that. Or like you'll try to find something that existed, try to like look up.
Yeah.
And you can't find it.
Or it's on the other service that you don't pay for, or you know, so
that's
it's
what I mean.
just like
That's
they just
what I
bounce
mean.
around.
Yeah, you can't find
30 different services.
Yeah. You have to pay for it specifically through a different provider.
Oh man, they're trying to get us to talk about food in chat. They're really trying hard, and I'm hungry.
Down, dude. We had chicken wings tonight.
Here we go. Let's go.
Same.
All free, by the way.
We had spaghetti.
Becca.
Troy had spaghetti made for me when I got home tonight. So.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. I was super hungry when I got home tonight because I was way busy at work and didn't get to stop. I didn't even get to fucking go out and do a dab today at work. So
Well,
fuck.
That's bullshit.
We were busy because of the football games and
Trish was baking this cookie.
Oh damn, Dan, that is torture, man. That's like almost as bad as
Smelling
waterboarding.
it.
Well, perfect.
Only one? You better have a stack of that.
I'm sure there's some more back there.
12 3-ounce cookies.
12 3-ounce cookies she made.
Oh, nice.
Now I need milk.
Say 3 ounce.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, just love it.
But it's gooey.
I made me some.
It's like
maybe
3 ounces of weed in each cookie. Is that the ratio?
There's no weed in this. Straight up goodness.
Okay.
Oh, I would be eating all of the cookies then. They would be gone.
They're huge. They're like way huge.
They're gonna be way better than them crumble cookies.
I love that you guys bring non-edible edibles
Yes.
to the events.
Yeah.
By that I mean food, snacks.
It's what we
Normal
call food.
Well, that's
Real
what really
people
called
food.
food. It's candy.
Food.
It's crap.
Without weed in there.
It's
You-
what us
You know
stoners
what's really
at the
good?
time.
Fruit roll-ups are really good, man.
Ooh,
You cut them and you can make like little chips.
I didn't
yeah,
think
they're
the fruit
really good.
roll-ups. Ooh, I want to try them.
Yes. Tropical fruit roll-ups.
What about the cookies?
Ooh, yeah.
Are you freeze drying the cookies?
No,
No,
they'd be like really hard. I'm sure you could, but we haven't.
It'd be so hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
probably.
recommend that. You probably have to rehydrate
Have
them.
you done a marshmallow yet?
Yes, marshmallows are great.
They're
Okay,
so good.
okay.
Yeah,
That was-
they swell up a little bit.
The bigger the better.
Yeah, they're so good.
I just love the crunch.
Yeah, they're really crunchy.
Did you do a Werther's yet?
Tomorrow, she has them.
Werther's and then the nut.
Everybody
nut.
wants us to do dill pickles, but they're
Oh,
tricky.
I know. I said the dill
They're
pickle.
hard on the pump, so
Oh,
there's some
Because of the
preparation you
moisture
gotta
coming
do to them. Yeah, just because they're so acidic or whatever. There's some preps you gotta do to them.
You gotta soak up the
But
Have you tried any like meat in there? Try to make your own jerky.
it won't. I don't think it'll cure meat like that. You can do raw meat or cooked meat in there, believe it or not. So
really?
yeah, that would actually have to be rehydrated.
Okay.
Be able to be eaten.
Yeah, you can do steak and raw hamburger.
Does it come with a cookbook?
No, but there's a big community online.
Okay, that's cool.
that have a lot of
Yeah, that's
what
cool.
works and what
Plan.
doesn't work.
Mhm.
I was actually talking to Becca today, and I was like, we should holler at Dan and talk to him about destroying his freeze dryer with some chicken for Ruben, because we use these dog treats for training that are chicken, dehydrated chicken, and I'm pretty sure it's freeze dried chicken.
Mm.
And
Just falls apart.
it
Like,
falls apart. It's
Yeah.
kind of shitty to work with because it does fall apart, but it captures his attention. So
Absolutely.
it works. You know what I mean? I don't know if logistically we'd be able to make that happen, but it'd be a product that, like, I'm definitely interested in doing. Like, we want to get a freeze dryer specifically for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
We're really thinking like dog treats.
Troy asked me today, how much is a freeze dryer?
I would recommend the Stay Fresh. You can get the Stay Fresh on a payment plan, so
Okay.
Which isn't a bad deal.
That's a nice
it's a high quality. The build on it compared to the Harvest Right is much superior.
I was going to say, are you ready to do a comparison about it yet?
Oh, I love it. I haven't run hash through it, just food.
Okay. Just food.
But yeah, it's have much more stable infrastructure and components to the system. I'm very, 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 very pleased with it. The ease operation is nice. It actually has a temperature probe to where it only cycles till the material's done. The Harvest Rate, you set it in at a preset set of hours, and it just runs that set time, and either it's done or it's not done. This actually has a probe to where it has a moisture reader, and it tells you when it's done.
Where do you have this set up at?
In the same room as the other one. They're right next to each other.
Okay. So temperature outside doesn't make a difference. It's not gonna.
You don't want a high humidity. You want to keep the compressors and your compressor and your pump in a good dry environment, not hot.
Right.
But yeah, Stay Fresh is where I would turn to, in my opinion, for a freeze dryer.
Cool.
So when you run something like
candy's quick.
Now what about if you run meat or if you're running this stuff? Is there at what point does it become like contaminated to where you wouldn't be able to run hash in it? Like, is there a point where like you can't clean it and like it's
the shelves come out, you can clean the surfaces. You actually put them in trays, we're not putting raw, they go in a tray and inside these shelves. But everything can come out. We do clean the unit every run, and
I still myself just being a little leery about raw meat and stuff. I feel like I would have to have one thing designated for just raw meat situations, and
probably. And I don't think we don't run no raw meat through.
No. I know that. Just what they're talking about. I think you would need something just.
Hopefully, if you were doing that, you'd be putting it on parchment paper.
Yeah,
they have liners that go on these trays. And
I mean, that would be for preserving the food for sure. I wonder about that. I wonder if you could like preserve.
Where it would benefit you would be your garden. That's where you guys would probably use it the most. Your zucchinis, your cubes, all that, preserving that, making it shelf stable for, up to 25 years.
So I want to jump in here and say that I can think of a great use for that for meats and stuff too, is those just add boiling water meals for like the egg MRE type prepper type camping, all that stuff,
Yeah, those are huge.
Yeah.
It make
your leftovers,
cubes of breeze, right? Bouillon, like you could like dehydrate your soup down to nothing and do the same with a beef stock or something, a nice au jus, and dehydrate that fucker down.
That would be really cool to do, wouldn't it?
Make a bouillon cube out of those.
Milk. Basically, a powder.
Through milk.
Eggs.
We were talking about the beef bouillon, not milk.
Yeah, I mean, you could do potatoes, eggs, sausage, and peppers, and maybe a couple onions, and maybe even cheese.
Yeah,
you do the whole thing, put it in a Mylar bag.
Yeah.
And you put a little oxygen pack in it.
See it in 20 years.
Yep, and then just add water to it, and you're good to go. Oxygen is the worst thing for this long-term preservation. And trying to keep the oxygen out of that bag. That's the
That's why they put those little packets in there. To...
Yep.
What kind of shelf life, Dan? Are you getting? Or I don't even know. When you do a freeze dry situation like the candies and stuff that you guys are doing, what kind of
the candies are short-term storage.
Okay.
Trish does have some desiccant bags or products to put in there with it to give it longevity. But when you freeze dry something, you're battling humidity and stuff. We noticed when we had a lot of people over for Thanksgiving, we brought out a lot of this freeze dried candy, set it out. We were cooking; it was real humid in there. So some of the caramel stuff started absorbing some of the moisture, and they definitely shrunk a little bit. But we keep them in nice sealed jars, and they usually do pretty good.
I mean, I wouldn't expect like candy. I mean, it's not like you're expecting it to go bad or anything, kind of thing.
No,
no,
because
when it starts like
as it is.
like getting like I don't know, crumbly almost is sometimes how it gets if it's too old or something. I guess sometimes I've had it get, and that's why I never know how long I can keep it for before I need to like hurry up eat it.
Oh, this depends on the candy.
Yeah, I'd say it probably depends on the candy. There's definitely some that are more
Hold up better.
Taffy is a very delicate freeze-dried candy.
I would think so too.
It's warm. It's definitely going to go back to its original.
Okay.
Skittles last forever.
But Skittles, they'll last forever.
Okay, that's what
What about those ice cream bars?
Oh, that's another. How were the ice cream bars?
Those would probably store a long time.
Okay.
I would assume them to be 20 plus years under the right conditions with the oxygen pack.
Now, did you keep the stick in the ice cream bar while
Yes.
you did? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I was curious about that part. Cool. That was so cool.
I would say the ice cream sandwiches were probably the biggest hit out of all the freeze-dried ice cream we did.
Really?
And that's the most popular like dessert you can buy in those MRE type things. Is ice cream sandwiches. Like it's
what's really good is pudding. Believe it or not.
Really?
Pudding.
Oh, really?
So good. Yeah, you can make little dollops of pudding. Maybe we'll do that. And,
Oh,
love chocolate
my baby eats those. They're literally dehydrated pudding drops out there.
Really?
Like yogurt drops.
I've
They're
never
yogurt
seen
drops.
those.
Yeah, they do yogurt too.
Oh,
And they're not bad.
No.
A little chalky, but they're not bad.
okay. Love all these new ideas. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. I mean, any kind of anything, right? Is there really any limitations to food that you can put through that process, Dan?
Pudding if you don't eat your meat.
You can't do chocolate.
Can't do straight chocolate.
Straight chocolate does not. It melts and just does not dehydrate. Or I'm sorry, freeze dry.
Is it a certain type of chocolate? Like, what if you had like 80% cocoa or like 98% cocoa or something?
It's gonna melt, and there's too much oil in it.
Okay.
Too greasy. So
Okay.
you do have to watch out for greasy, oily products.
Okay. So probably no Reese cups then, or
No.
okay.
No,
All
we
right.
tried peanut butter.
Ooh, what about a Kit Kat?
Well, here's the thing: when you do chocolate
it's got chocolate on it. Damn it.
well, you can do chocolate, but you have to cool it back down to re-solidify it after. When you take it out of the freeze dryer, the candy is doing at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You're processing that, so you bring them.
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Never mind. Go ahead.
You bring them out of the freeze dryer and then cool them, and then you're able to go ahead and handle them again, and the chocolate is re-solidified.
Is instant coffee just brewed coffee that's been put through that process?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it?
Yeah. It's just brewed coffee that's been
crazy.
freeze dried.
I just finally made that connection.
Yeah, I mean, how the hell else do they get it that way?
Well, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh,
but
well,
no,
I like
you never think about it, do you?
I like taking coffee camping, and I
thinking
got
of
like a little
Tango right
drip
now.
brewer that actually works really well. But that's just ground coffee beans in hot water. Like,
Yeah.
oh, but what's the next step? Freeze drying that. That's instant coffee, right? That's I don't know. I'm trying to
Yeah, I
think of
love
like
coffee.
other things. I don't know if I've ever even had instant coffee. I'll be honest. Maybe I have like at a
instant
shop
coffee.
or
My
something.
grandparents used to live on
It's all frothy and shit.
They used the Folgers decaf. So yeah, I know
Oh, yeah.
exactly what that tastes and smells like, because it's a different smell too. It's not the typical coffee smell. There is a distinct difference to it.
Do like the Nestle Arnold Palmer mix.
Oh, I don't know about that.
The
I
tea.
bet you it would take
That's
about
good stuff.
6 hours to run.
I have that
to
upstairs.
run that through the machine.
I've had it before.
Nestle tea and a fucking. That's probably totally different. That's probably just concentrated
Sugar, mostly sugar, probably.
not actually tea.
Probably just ground up tea.
It was real shiny, I remember, glittery.
Yeah, I do remember it being shiny and like
Like,
speckly.
wow. Yeah.
That's the unicorn dust. That's the unicorn dust. That makes it
Oh,
taste so good.
Yeah, I was never into I'm not much into. I love the smell of coffee. I love the taste of coffee. It just hurts my insides, so I can't drink it. So I love it.
Yeah, I'm
I
a
love it. I love it. Love the
coffee
taste, but
addict.
Have you got an
Dude,
espresso
drinking
route?
coffee for like 3 months. I didn't have any caffeine. Well, I've been drinking decaf for a long time, but I haven't had any coffee for like 3 months. And then all of a sudden, we
Until
got
we got the dog.
little Ruben here, and then I have been drinking
Coffee.
about a cup a day. Yeah,
oh,
What's your flavor?
strong.
yeah, black
Wake up. Wake me up.
beans,
Wake up, Dad.
Yeah, I am whole grown.
dirty fresh ground with some extra grounds in the bottom of the glass.
Oh, no.
You can
No.
chew it.
Yeah, there's some
No.
No,
Get that-
there's
Percolator coffee then.
that filter. Pour it through.
Percolator?
I remember I liked the smell of percolator coffee. When I worked at the summer camp, I used to make that every morning. It smelled so good.
I love percolator coffee, man. That's my favorite. That's real dirty coffee, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
That's the jet fuel right there.
Yeah.
Like you get to the bottom and there's like a silt layer down there. You're like, oh shit.
That's the good stuff. That's the stuff that gets the hair on your chest right there.
I would wake up in the morning and fill up my percolator, put the fucking percolator on my electric stove, thinking that I was like being resourceful with the percolator. You know what I mean? And I'm using an electric stove. Might as well just got a little fucking coffee pot.
That's what you brush your teeth with. Is that silt layer at the bottom?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yes.
yeah.
That's what you feed your worms with. That's what you feed your worms with.
Right there. Put a little bit of your gums. Wake up.
We don't drink it right away though when we wake up. It's, I think it's better for you to wait a little bit after you wake up to have your first cup.
Yeah, I
Something
disagree.
with your metabolism.
So I've been trying to get a whole 8 ounces of water in me first as soon as I get up, before I do anything else, before coffee, anything, caffeine, anything. And I don't know, I seem to feel a little bit more perkier in the morning. I don't know. I'm a lot, I don't know. I like it. I don't know. I don't like a lot of
Definitely
stuff
healthier.
after that. So, but I don't know. I've been doing a lot of reading that, you should drink 8 ounces of water right off the bat. That helps getting, your, system going kind of thing. And I don't know.
Salts in that water in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, electrolytes. And I mean, depending on where your area is, what kind of water you're getting.
I go with 16 ounces of Monster. It gets me going.
I know you do. And that's so terrible.
Good Lord. Dave said
God. Ugh.
coffee alternatives. We do grow coffee alternatives. We actually have been drinking our garden's tea all winter long, and we drink that. I'll drink that at night. It'll be coffee in the morning, and then actually this morning I had a ginger lemon. I did some ginger and lemon. It's like 6:30 in the morning with the dog. I did ginger and lemon 7 in the morning with the dog.
I like that hot. That's a good hot tea.
Yeah, between 7 and 9, it was ginger and lemon tea with the sunshine coming up and the dog biting my ankles and being a little asshole.
No honey? You have no honey in that?
No, not a lot of honey. Sometimes in the summertime when the pollen and shit like that's going on, I'll get a little bit, but I don't like a lot of sweets.
I could envision you and Becca having your own bee farm.
I love honey, and shout out to Spartan because he got us a little
Funny you mentioned that, Dan.
Really?
Farm. So
You tell.
we're gonna actually have our own little honey honey bits, so we can have some honey, because it is something I do like to put in my spring medication cabinet, and definitely in my fall medication cabinet.
Love honey.
I have to learn how to do that.
Not every glass of tea, but it definitely makes its way in there. Right now, our honey is like almost dry. Blue Kiss has been our honey supplier for like
She's
the
our
last
source.
Yeah.
a year, 2 years, or something like that. We're down to like just getting wax in our honey. So we have all kinds of other honeys that I don't know.
I have to like melt all
They're
of the
from
honey.
different areas. I
together.
really like local honey. I'm really fucking stupid bougie.
You know, the best honey I shouldn't say the best, but one of the most unique honeys I ever got was what Spartan gave me, and that was that whipped honey. That was very unique. I have never
That's my
had
favorite.
that before, and that was really cool.
Sounds good.
Whipped honey sounds delicious.
They whip it with a bunch of air so that it's like a spreadable honey instead of something
So
that you have
cool.
to worry about, something you have to worry about like dripping all over and being sticky. And it
Spread
spreads
it
real
like
easy.
that.
It's like candy for me. So the problem is once I have like a little bit of honey, I'll like have a teaspoon of honey, and then once I have a teaspoon of honey, I'll have like 4 teaspoons of honey. And then the problem with that, every teaspoon of honey is like 15 grams of sugar. I get headaches. I get headaches from like, dude, like nothing. I can eat like a gummy bear and it would give me a brutal fucking headache. So I really try to not drink any or eat and drink or anything like that. Sugar, at least as of lately, because of all of that. Honey, unfortunately, even though it's a better form of sugar, still does that. Even natural forms of carbohydrates, if I eat too many apples or anything like that, especially if I combine them all. So I have to watch my eating throughout the day. But
I liked whipped butters, like with fruit and stuff, man.
I like whipped butter with honey.
Whipped, yeah, anything. Oh,
I
apple
like
butter,
peanut
honey
butter with honey instead of
Oh,
sugar.
I do too. I agree. I do too. That's so yummy. Mm,
Yum.
I guess I've been getting a lot of honey through that. Yeah, I've been having honey through that source.
so good.
Yeah, the peanut butter honey. Shout out anything grows. I see you're saying garlic honey. That's an interesting one. I haven't
Yeah.
tried.
Spartan can
You gotta
sell
do, yeah, that's a go-to. That's my go-to. You just
Yeah.
take a little pint of honey and put 4 or 5 garlic cloves in there, and they'll ferment. You want it to be in there for at least a week before you start eating it. Before it's good enough to eat and be medicinal enough, you're just pulling those oils out of the garlic and getting them into the honey. The honey's antimicrobial, so you don't have to worry about anything like getting rancid or anything.
Okay.
But actually, the longer it's in there, the better. And the milder it gets, it's not so strong. At first, it's really strong garlicky.
Do you store it outside
I put
of the
in the
refrigerator?
cabinet-
Or do you put it
in the cabinet in the dark is where I store
in
it.
the dark? Okay.
And but yeah, just a teaspoon, like a spoon of it, tablespoon of it, I would say.
Really?
Right before bed, especially if you're having a hard time sleeping, hard time breathing, things like that. It's really good for chest congestion, coughs. It's really good. It's the combo of the garlic and the honey together, the antimicrobials and the
Dude, and its shelf life is indefinite.
yeah, and it gets better with time.
Antimicrobial It's officially almost 11 o'clock and I can no longer speak.
Oh, you could have rhymed that if you said
That's that
talk.
cannabis.
Can no longer talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, Becca.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's
That's why I heard
easy.
that. I don't care.
It's easy to make for yourself, and it's easy to It's just another way to have your own medicine, take control of your own
Nice
medicine.
Mhm.
medicinal home.
I just
More
sent you something about it, Tara. I sent you a post on Instagram.
Sweet, thank you. I don't know about this, and I'd like to know about it. So we'll be messing around with it.
Since it's the last 2 minutes of the show, I'd love to start a topic about this.
Okay, let's start it.
Since Anything Grows is there, I would like to give her a shout out. She's been helping us out and doing a little bit of work for us with Rosemary's Oasis, helping us out with logos. So giving her a big shout out with that, and thank you very much for all of the help, time, effort, and everything you're putting into it. Everything's looking awesome. We really do like the ideas that you've been sending our way. And what, I bring this up because we're pulling forth, and we've been getting some stuff for greens on the indoor, and actually getting seed started and things like that, and actually getting more bulk supplies of nursery type stuff. Nothing crazy, not like hundreds of planters or anything like that, but just like a handful of 10, 20 trays, a handful of like propagators, and a handful of 1 gallon pots and things like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We started with our small nursery for the, and we went buck crazy on seeds. I don't know if we talked about seeds last week, but we made a big purchase. We're gonna go out to MI Gardner and get some more seeds, but we did
Nice.
production as far as like for a market and things like that. We went through a market provider, Johnny's Seed Source, and we got some stuff through Baker Creek, mostly flowers and heirlooms through Baker Creek, and then all of the other stuff through Johnny's. So
Those
yeah.
come tomorrow, so maybe we can show them off on the show.
Oh, sweet. Yes.
Yeah, we can do
That'd be
that.
awesome.
Seed show tomorrow night.
Because we
It's-
got
it's
like
the season.
seriously so many.
That's awesome.
You
I
just-
can't wait to
Nice.
Get your seeds.
Never bought so many seeds.
Tis the season.
Hell
Is
yeah.
this going to go in the ground at the not where you're at now, but at the new place?
Some will go here, and we're gonna try to get as much out there as possible. It's going to depend on in infrastructure if we get a fence up in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thing.
Keep them deer out.
Far we can
Yeah,
go.
gotta keep the deer out. Deer tracks are heavy in the area of the garlic. It's like up and down. Like the garlic's here, and then the deer tracks are like, yeah, right here. Right by the garden. Yeah, right by the garden.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 p.m. sharp.
Oh,
For the late
so-
session.
Lisa.
Lisa,
Cheers, everybody.
growing everybody.
Everybody.